Hello, my name's Anthony Corkill. Welcome to the Victorian Chamber Safety webinar. Today we're going to talk about why young workers are vulnerable in the workplace. This is the first of a series of casts focusing on young workers and how we can assist them to be safe in the workplace. I'd like to start the session with a story about an 18-year-old worker named Tiffany Ward. She was at work one day at a potato processing plant in Queensland and was nearing the end of her shift, and during the clean-up she noticed that the cleaning of the auger, which is a screw conveyor device shaped like a corkscrew for moving material liquid by means of a rotating action, had not been started. So she thought, I haven't done this for a while, I'll clean it. And as Tiffany was cleaning around the auger, it started while her arms are in it. She says, I quote, I remember it coming on and thinking, this ain't good. As the auger rotated, it drew her right arm into the area and she tried to get it out with her other arm, and it got caught as well. The force of the rotating auger lifted her off the ground, and she remembered seeing flesh hanging there and blood streaming down her arm. Tiffany was freed after 40 minutes and was airlifted to hospital, where she underwent many months of operations, grafts and rehabilitation. As a result, she now has no use of her right hand, limited use of her right arm and reduced use of her left arm, and massive scarring on both arms. This is so typical with so many incidents in the workplace. Tiffany was not doing anything wrong, she was just doing part of her job. Are there any tasks in your workplace where workers, and in particular young workers, are exposed to risk? We may have our own ideas about what were the obvious causes to this incident. Here are 4 possible factors. Was it equipment failure? Was it a lack of procedures? Was it individual behaviour? Was it the environment the auger was in? It could be said that it was a combination of all these factors, but it could also be said that one significant factor was the age of Tiffany. Why? Because young workers are more susceptible to being involved in incidents in the workplace. Here's some facts. From the 1st of April 2015 to the 31st of March 2016, 2,554 injury claims were made by young workers. These are workers aged between 15 and 24 years of age. These claims equate to just under 10% of all claims made to WorkSafe in the same period. Surprising figure given that we are in an ageing workforce. There were also 3 young worker fatalities for the same period. 2 of these were electrocutions. There were 1,873 injury claims made in Melbourne and 670 claims made in regional Victoria. Has there ever been a young worker injured at your workplace? Young workers in construction, retail, manufacturing and hospitality, the big 3, they suffered the most injuries. Hand, finger and back injuries were the most common type of injury. Construction sector had the highest number of claims at 534, retail had the second highest number of claims at 416, and manufacturing had the third highest number of claims at 361. Poor manual handling was the cause of most injuries in the workplace, followed by being hit by a moving object. So why are young workers vulnerable? Because young workers are often employed as temporary or seasonal workers or as interns, they may be more likely to any of the following. Feel pressured to perform all tasks. Avoid asking questions or raising concerns. This could be fear of not getting future work perhaps. Be exposed to risky tasks with minimal training or supervision. Perhaps the employer doesn't see the need to give comprehensive training to younger workers. They don't want to make a fool of themselves. Perhaps there's a lack of understanding or no concept of hazard or risk. We see that in our roads, people, the way they drive on the roads, and especially young people. Work design. The design of the work process in the workplace and not suitable for young workers. They're not able to interact with those practices. Perhaps they're just quiet in nature. Maybe they're overconfident. Maybe they have a little bit of knowledge which they believe is adequate. Maybe they're underconfident. Maybe they're hesitant, indecisive. Or is it the workplace culture? Is it the culture of the organisation that puts young workers at risk? Some people may put common sense as a reason also, but we know that that's not the case, as there's nothing common about common sense. Remember, we can't rely on common sense as a control measure. The Occupational Health and Safety Act 2004 gives employers a clear duty to provide a safe and healthy workplace for employees, visitors and contractors. This includes providing safe plant systems of work, providing safe use, handling, storage of plant substances, ensuring the workplace is maintained in a condition that is safe, providing adequate facilities for the welfare of the employers, and providing information instruction training or supervision. The duty imposed upon a person under the Act or the regulations requires the person to A, eliminate the risks to health and safety so far as is reasonably practicable, and B, if it is not reasonably practicable to do so, reduce those risks as far as reasonably practicable. Remember the 5 parts of practicability. Remember the likelihood that the hazard or risk is going to occur. If it does eventuate, what's the degree of harm? What does the person know or reasonably know about the hazard or risk? Are there ways to remove or mitigate the risk and the cost of doing so? These are important factors in meeting your obligation in regards to health and safety for workers in the workplace. The next cast will focus on how we can support young workers, and in the meantime check out our website www.victorianchamber.com.au for briefings, training and other safety services we can provide you. Thanks for your time.